Let's look firstly at the height of humanity. Now, the height of humanity is it's the ultimate improvement strategy. I mean, forget continuous improvement, set aside self-improvement, and don't get me started on home improvement. I get enough of that off my wife. Humanity is the ultimate improvement strategy. It makes the bad better. It makes the average awesome and makes the great greater. It takes us to heights beyond our comprehension. And for too long we've ignored this power of humanity in our everyday lives and places of work. Sure, we get that great humanitarians, they've changed the world for good forever, yeah? Great humanitarians, Mahatma Gandhi, Mandela, Mother Teresa, they've changed the world for good forever. But it's almost like we're in awe of these great humanitarians because we've slipped into this default setting that says, I only do humanity on weekends or overseas. And it sells us short of the power of enrichment, the power of improvement that it has on our everyday lives and places of work. Now, I spoke about how earlier the first decade of my career was spent as a meat worker, so I think I'm really well placed to talk about how tough and demeaning and soul-destroying work can be at times, all right? My first job was actually working as a floor boy on the local slaughter floor. I still remember walking into the CES job office, so for the Gen Ys they probably don't know what that means, but the CES was where we had all the job vacancies on job cards. I remember walking into the CES office and scanning through them, and there was one and it simply read, Midco Abattoir, floor boy wanted, money's good. That was it, money's good. Now at the time that really appealed to me because I didn't have any. But they could have really advertised that job quite well by simply having a picture of Quasimodo, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Because my job was actually to work underneath the trellises and the platforms of the slaughterman on the end of a squeegee mop. So I was kind of in this semi-stoop state and I couldn't even take a full step, so I was reduced to kind of shuffling. I used to spend pretty much 8 hours a day doing that sort of stuff. If there had been some bells and ropes and stuff to swing off, I was set, you know. And the boss, if he wanted to explain that job in 3 simple steps, he could have said you to be showered in equal measures of blood, faeces and abuse. It was a rough job. It was almost an inhumane job. But you know what kept me coming back? And it wasn't the money. There were these windows of humanity in each day that made the experience better. 20-minute windows at lunchtime where guys would gather around their tables, 8 or 10 at a time like you, and we'd just share our lives. There was never any whinging or bitching or gossip, never any complaining about the work that we were doing or what the boss had or hadn't been making us do. All of that was off the table. It was just men getting to know men, and there wasn't a group hug inside, thankfully. As an 18-year-old kid, I just learnt so much about becoming a man in that environment, and some of those lessons weren't truly learned till later. But it made the bad better. It made the worse easier. And you don't need blood and offal to tap into this power each and every day, this power of improvement, the power of enrichment that the people around us provide. It's called work for a reason, isn't it? There's always parts of your work that are less than glamorous than what you see in the job application or on television or in the magazines. We need this power of enrichment each and every day to make our world better.